Assalamualaikum everyone, this is Ahmed Chaudhary and welcome to AMI chemistry class. Today we are going to start a new chapter which is covalent substances and which is also carbon, water and methane, which is chapter 1.12, 1.13, 1.14 and chapter 2.07. Chapter 2.07 is from chemistry higher tier and chapter 1.12, 1.13 and 1.14 is from target science. So let's not delay anymore and let's begin. So I would request everyone to write the chapter name and the number. Chapter 2.06, chapter 1.21, comma 1.3, comma 1.4 and 1.6, and the chapter name is covalent substances. So before starting the chapter, before knowing about the chapter, first we should know that what is covalent bond. As I have said in the previous chapter or in the previous class where I have literally explained what is covalent bond, but still I'm not going to explain. I'm just going to say the definition and give a short review that what is a covalent bond. So a covalent bond is a chemical bond in pairs of electrons are shared. In pairs of electrons are shared between two atoms. Covalent bond is a chemical bond in pairs of electrons are shared between two atoms. Full stop. It is also the molecular bond. So covalent bond is nothing except that the bond between two non-metals is known as a covalent bond, but you cannot simply write that the bond between two non-metal atoms is known as covalent bond. But you have to say it in such a way that covalent bond is a chemical bond in pairs of electrons. In pairs of electrons are shared in pairs of electrons are shared between two atoms. Full stop. It is also called a molecular bond. So before knowing anything more, before going any further more, we should know that what's a molecule. A molecule is a group of atoms joined by a covalent bond. A molecule is a group of atoms joined by a covalent bond. So let me write the definition of covalent bond and also what is a molecule. So as you guys are saying that I have written the definition of what is a covalent bond. I would request everyone to write the definition again, even though if you have written it in previous videos or in the previous class, even if I have said or I have said to write a different definition, but still you have to write this definition in your note copy. Still you have to write this definition on your note copy. So I will highly appreciate that if you guys take an SS, or you guys write this on your note copy. So let me repeat the answer. Covalent bond is a chemical bond in which pairs of electrons. A covalent bond is a chemical bond in which pairs of electrons are shared between two atoms. Full stop. Covalent bond is a chemical bond in which pairs of electrons are shared between two atoms. It is also bracket known or called the molecular bond. You can write known or you can write called. It is also called the molecular bond, or you can write it that it is also known as the molecular bond. Let me write the word as. Covalent bond is a chemical bond in which pairs of electrons are shared between two atoms. It is also known as or called the molecular bond. If you write known as, you don't need to write the word called. If you write the word called, then you don't need to write the word known as. You guys are intelligent enough to understand. So let me erase this definition and let me write the definition of a molecule. A molecule is a group of atoms joined by covalent bond. A molecule is a group of atoms joined by covalent bond. So if someone asks you that what is a molecule, you just need to answer that a molecule is a group of atoms joined by covalent bond. Full stop. even though you guys have written the same definition of molecule in the previous chemistry class, which was I think at 13, 31, 10, 21, but still you guys need to write this for this chapter also. It will be a short recognition for you guys and also a revision for you guys. So when you will start the chapter, then you will notice the definition of the covalent bond. That covalent bond is a chemical bond in which pairs of electrons are shared between two atoms. It is also called the molecular bond. Full stop. Then you will see the definition. The definition of a molecule. That what is a molecule, or define a molecule. Or define the word molecule. A molecule is a group of atoms joined by covalent bond. Full stop. A molecule is a group of atoms joined by covalent bond. I hope you guys have taken essays or taken notes. So we have learned in the previous chapter, in chapter 2.05, that there are molecules are diatomic. As molecules, the molecules which have two atoms are known as diatomic. Diatomic molecule means the molecule that has two atoms. Diatomic molecule means the molecule that has two atoms. Hydrogen atoms forms diatomic molecules by covalent bond. So now let's come to the point that molecules are made up of non-metal atoms joined by strong covalent bonds. Examples of molecules are oxygen, O2, water, H2O, ammonia, NH3. It is not mandatory to have two atoms, only two atoms, but you have to have minimum two atoms. Minimum two atoms. The rule is that for being a molecule, you need to have at least two atoms, but it doesn't mean that it will have only two atoms. These two things are very different from each other. So molecules are made up of non-metal atoms joined by strong covalent bonds. I think I don't need to write this thing. Molecular solids. Iodine is a good example of a molecular solid. Iodine is a very good example of molecular solid. Each iodine molecule contains two atoms held together by strong covalent bond. Full stop. I think I have to write these things. So let me erase the board and write the thing. So as you guys are saying that I have written the things, now you guys have to first give a star and write notes and then underline. Give a star, write notes and then underline the thing, the word notes. Then first give molecules are made up of non-metal atoms joined by strong covalent bond. Molecules are made up of non-metal atoms joined by strong covalent bond. Listen, you don't know when they are going to ask you questions about which thing. They may ask very simple question of 1 to 2 marks. They may ask a very simple question for 1 to 2 marks which you may don't know the answer. So it's better to note down everything and revise everything so that you guys remember the thing. If you see the question, you can just think and write the answer. That just explain molecules. Just explain molecules. Then first you have to write the definition of the molecule. Then you have to write the definition. Suppose explain molecule. They have given you 3 marks. Explain molecule. They have given you 3 marks. First you have to give the definition of molecule, for which you will get 1 mark, and the second mark, that's 2 marks you will get that molecules are made up of non-metal atoms, 1 mark, joined by strong covalent bond, another 1 mark. Ultimately, which will give you 3 marks. So, এটা যদি জানা থাকে তোমাদের, it will help you guys to study and it will help you guys to understand the chapter better. Now, molecular solids. Iodine is a very good example of molecular solid. Iodine is a very good example of molecular solid. Each iodine molecules have two atoms held together by strong covalent bond. Iodine is a good example of molecular solid. Each iodine molecules have two atoms held together by strong covalent bond. Full stop. I am giving you time. Please take a essay or please write it down. Otherwise, if you miss one thing, you will miss the chapter. That's all I can say. So you guys are saying that I have written a question, what is molecular solid? Please take an essay of the thing, please take a essay of the thing, or please write it in your notebook. Please take a essay of this thing or write it in your copy. So for those guys who are not understanding the handwriting or not understanding what I have written, I am repeating the thing which I have written. So the thing I have written is that what is molecular solid? It's a question, comma, question mark, answer. Molecular solids are solids. Molecular solids are solids that are essentially collection of molecules held together by strong intermolecular forces. See, by strong intermolecular forces, but not by strong force of attraction. Strong force of attraction is a different thing, and strong molecular force is a different thing. Molecular forces are the force. Molecular force is the force that acts between two molecules, which acts between two molecules, or which acts between a molecule. It's a force that acts between a molecule. It acts between a molecule. So, and strong forces of attraction is or occurs when a positive or a negative thing. When a positive and a negative thing attracts for the positive neutron of another atom and the negative electron of another atom, the connection between the positive neutron and negative electron, or the force between the positive neutron and the negative electron is the force of attraction. That is not molecular force. Molecular force is a different thing, and intermolecular force is a different thing. We will definitely learn about that thing. So first learn about the molecular solid. Molecular solids are solids. Molecular solids are solids. That's an essentially ENTIALLY, essentially collection of molecules held together by strong intermolecular forces, IMFS. Bracket there, full stop. The solid structure is maintained by IMFS rather than bonds. Give bracket and write ionic, covalent or metallic. Ionic, covalent or metallic. Let me repeat the whole thing which I have written one more time. You guys, I didn't write one more line which will I add, as I didn't add it right here because I don't have enough space right now. Please do not give please give a full stop after this thing, and we will write a new line which will continue from this thing. Molecular solids are solids that's an essentially collection of molecules. Essentially collection of molecules held together by strong intermolecular forces, IMFS. The full stop. The solid structure is maintained by IMFS rather than bonds, ionic, covalent or metallic. Give full stop. Now I hope you guys have taken note or have taken essays of this thing. Now I'm going to add the last line. Please continue this line from the place where you have given full stop after the bracket where the words ionic, covalent or metallic is written. So this line will continue from the last line. This line is going to continue from the last line. You don't need to write the line I have given in bracket. This line will continue from the last line, as I have written this thing to make you guys understand that the line I am writing by giving star. We'll continue from the last line, which was ionic, covalent or metallic, full stop. Now the forces holding the solids are much weaker than for other types of solids. The forces holding the solids are much weaker than for other types of solids. The forces holding the solids are much weaker than for other types of solids. Full stop. Please write this thing. The forces holding the solids are much weaker than for other types of solids. The forces holding the solids are much weaker than for other types of solids. Full stop. Now let me repeat the whole thing which I have said, that what is a molecular solid or what is molecular solid? Answer. Molecular solids are solids that are essentially collections of molecules held together by intermolecular forces. IMFS, the solid structures is maintained by IMFS rather than bonds. Metallic, covalent or ionic, the forces are holding solids together are much weaker than for other types of solids. Molecular solids are solids that are essentially collections of molecules held together by intermolecular forces. IMFS. The solid structure is maintained by IMFS rather than the bonds. Metallic, covalent or ionic, the forces holding solids together are much weaker than for other types of solids. আজকের জন্য এতটুকুই থাকুক, and we will continue the rest of the chapter in the next class inshallah. So assalamu alaikum everyone.